What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Since my last video, which was literally yesterday, so hopefully nothing negative has come into your life in the last 24 hours anyway. So guys, I came across a nice article the other day about a certain former Harry Potter actor, and this actor's excitement about the new TV series and how he's happy for a Harry Potter return. Now, you'll already know by the title that this actor is Jason Issacs, who played Death Eater Lucius Malfoy, and I'll talk about what he said in a few moments. But I have to admit that I'm really enjoying, guys. I'm really enjoying that so many former Harry Potter stars are, coming out and giving their opinions on the show. Some positive and some negative, but mostly positive. And I think it's great that Harry Potter has everyone talking again. That's the main thing, isn't it? Everyone's buzzing. We're all excited to see what's going to happen. And now Jason Isaacs himself has given his own take on the new show. Now, Jason is probably... He's probably one of the greatest villain actors out there. From Colonel Tavington in The Patriot to Captain Hook in Peter Pan, and all the way to Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and all the way up until the Deathly Hallows Part 2. We all wanted Lucius to get what was coming to him. I absolutely despised him for so long, and then I kind of pitied him. I really pitied him as the books progressed and how that was portrayed on screen. He was really treated so harshly by Voldemort, and we were all like, okay, enough is enough now. And he got away with everything. He never went to Azkaban, and I went straight back to disliking him when it was made clear that he never changed his opinionated ways towards Muggles and Muggleborns after everything. And most likely he would have joined another uprising, another dark wizard rebellion if he was given the chance. So Lucius, you will just never learn your lesson, will you, pal? But anyway, play the part Jason Isaacs did, and he's commented over the years how much he enjoyed the show, and what it meant to him, especially his relationship with his on-screen son, Tom Felton, aka Draco Malfoy, who became like a real-life son to him. They have a great relationship, and that's great to know. But Jason mentioned in a recent interview about his delight at the return of Harry Potter to our screens, and he says the following: "It's no weirder for me than for everybody else who's seen the films. I happen to be in the films too. They make a new Spider-Man every 15 minutes. There was a ton of stuff in the books that we left out. Yeah, it's an odd feeling, but it's no odder for me than it is anyone else. I can't wait to see them and see what they do." Now, he's obviously speaking about how he feels about his former character being recast and played by someone else other than him for so many years. Even Rupert Grint thought it was weird at the thought of someone else playing Ron Weasley, as he felt like he owned the character of Ron in a sort of way. He actually said that in an interview. So I think that's what Jason means by that comment. And I do love the joke about, the new Spider-Man every 15 minutes, which is so true and, more important, so successful. Tom Holland had big shoes to fill after Spider-Man was rebooted for the third time. Okay, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man didn't get too warm of a reception, but there was a lot of problems with those movies. Sony just, they weren't really on point with what was going on. It still wasn't awful, it still wasn't bad, but Tom Holland literally got Spider-Man to a T. I mean, I think he's referencing that it's not going to be a surprise if the new Harry Potter reboot is incredibly successful. And he's right when he says they left a lot out of the books, guys. They did. We all know that. It's pretty evident. There's no shying away from it. It is one of the biggest reasons as to why so many of us are open to the TV series, because we get to see all of those missing moments, scenes, characters, the lot. From my own personal perspective, I'm crying out for it. I really am. I'm asking, what changes will they make? Will they even have uniforms, for example, like they did in the movies, or the more relaxed school attire, like, from the books? I have a lot of questions, guys, and it's funny when we associate the role of Jason with Lucius so well, because he wasn't actually just handed the role. He wasn't, incredibly sought after to play the part. Someone didn't say, we have to get Jason Isaacs, get him, he has to play Lucius. It was actually the complete opposite. Funnily enough, it was total opposite. Jason recalls being so keen to take on the role, and when he got it, he did everything he could to make sure Lucius remained in the books so he could continue to play his part on screen and feature in the movies, which is hilarious. Rowling didn't have any big plans for Lucius in the final book of the series, The Deathly Hallows, but Jason said he begged her to continue to feature Draco's father more in the book so he could feature more in the movies. He says, "I fell to my knees and begged her. It didn't do any good. I'm sure she doesn't need plot ideas from me. But I made my point." And it may not have appeared to work at the time, but it did work out for him in the end, as Lucius had his part in the story's conclusion and in the story's conclusion of the book too. But however, his input was graciously accepted when he first appeared in the Chamber of Secrets, when he suggested to scrap the initial character design completely. He says, "I went to the set and they had this idea of me wearing a pinstripe suit, short black and white hair. I was slightly horrified. He was a racist, a eugenicist. There's no way he would cut his hair like a muggle or dress like a muggle." So he then suggested to Chris Columbus to give Lucius entirely white hair, a garb and a cane. He says, "I asked for a walking stick, which Chris Columbus first thought was because I had something wrong with my leg. I explained I wanted it as an affectation, so I can pull my wand out of the cane. And after a second's thought, he said, 'You know what? I think the toy guys are going to love you.'" So, the prop department. And he was completely right, guys. So the Lucius you see on screen would have looked completely different had Jason not given his own view of how he thought the character should have looked. So you can thank him for that one. He also recalls one of his final shoots of the movie when it was an absolute nightmare, but he suddenly realised just how lucky he was to be part of this amazing franchise. When he says, "I remember when we were shooting the big courtyard sequence at the end, the big battle of Hogwarts in the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and because it went on for a long time, because it rained, we couldn't shoot. We'd go to work every day and we'd sit about. If it was an American film, people would just go back to their trailers, but it wasn't an American film. So we all sat in a big tent with a tea urn full of increasingly solid tea, with the spoons which would stand up, waiting for the tin of biscuits at 11 o'clock to come round, huddled around heaters." So despite being stuck in a tent in freezing conditions, Isaacs had the time of his life thanks to his incredible castmates. He says, "It was very cold. Listening to Julie Walters tell stories about her pig farm and laughing like idiots and telling filthy showbiz stories to each other," he explains. "I wanted the rain to go on for months. I wanted it to never end." So there you have it, guys, a little piece of Jason Isaacs and his take on the new Harry Potter series, in addition to his own experiences on set. So my question for you is, what do you think? Would you like a Jason Isaacs return to the new TV series, or would you prefer to see his on-screen son Draco, Tom Felton, now play the role that Jason made so famous? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, guys, that is all for today. As I said, let me know your opinions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the continued support. It really means the world to me, guys. I can't explain how much it means to me. I consider you all really like a close family. So thanks again, and I'll see you all very soon.